you could feel the bearings. It's like there's a stop there, there's one right there, another one there. As beautiful as it is out today, the wind is just killing it. So that's why the Tour Glide's outside and I'm set up inside to work on the FatBoy. In preparation for the parts that should be arriving any day now, I'm going to continue disassembly of the front end of this thing. I'm taking this apart because I'm not 100% certain where the controls screw in, and that's a little tight. Yeah, I'm not certain where they plug in. I know this bike at some point had the bar, which is now damaged, modified for internal wiring, which I'm guessing the connection has to be somewhere, you know, underneath here. I mean, that's where the wires go. And I doubt they're hardwired, but you never know. So 3 bolts and this cover comes off. I have the right pieces, the isolators for this somewhere. I know I got them a long time ago. Hopefully I can find them, because it'd be nice to mount them the way they're supposed to be. Looks like the second light bulb. Huh, interesting. It's always very dimly lit. Could be why. I'll give Harley credit for really hiding a lot of the wiring the way this setup is. It's pretty cool. I guess as long as you don't need to go in there and remove it. You know what, I shouldn't say that. I guess once you know how things go together, it's a lot easier. So I guess this is a learning experience. I've had this apart before. I've had the tanks off when I redid the top end. I just don't remember. Well, we'll see. Fingers crossed that it's relatively simple, that I can just unpin the wires and then just pull the bar off, and I'll figure it out, how to pull the wires out and maybe modify the new bar, because these aren't supposed to be internally wired, but they look really cool. So we'll see. We're heading into that time of year where working outdoors not always an option, which is why the Tour Glide is not here. It's outside, allowing me the room to work, and it's one of the reasons why I really have to get this thing back on its 2 wheels, because if I'm going to continue on the Tour Glide, I'm going to need the space inside the garage as the bad weather sets in. So the quicker I can get this on its wheels, the quicker I can push it outside and have the room to work on the Tour Glide. It looks like these might be the connectors. Huh. Slightly annoying, but probably the easiest way would be to just get the tanks a little loose, even if they just hang out of the way, and then I can get in here and see what's going on. Oh, a little tight. At least the tanks on this are a pretty simple setup. I mean, considering it's 2 tanks, which that bit me in the ass when I first started riding this thing. I couldn't figure out why. This was only taking about 2.5 gallons of gas every time it would run out, because I was only filling the one side. Took me almost getting stuck and a little bit of research to say, hey, that might be a gas tank too. Live and learn. You know, coming from Japanese bikes and even Italian bikes, that didn't make any sense to me. But I give them credit. It's a cool throwback to the way things used to be. All right. I wonder if that hit the ground. it's always good to hear that noise. Looks like there was some stuff that wasn't connected. Like this one wasn't. Not sure what it is for, but it's tied into the wire for the speedometer light, which I'll have to address. Strange. But that said, turn signal wires. Here we are. One side, or control wires, I should say, and the other side. So now I should be able to get these out of there. Let's just see what's holding them in. Also, this piece here does not look factory, so might as well split them apart. Give me a little bit more room. Try to figure out what the hell they did on this thing. I guess this is as good a time as any, right? Go through and see what exactly they did when they wired it, and hopefully won't leave me stuck. This thing's been pretty reliable. About 10,000 miles I've put on it since I've started riding it and went through a bunch of stuff, top end and whatnot. So it's been good. But when you see a potential issue, it makes sense to try to take care of it. One more. All right. Actually, it looks like I'm a few zip ties away from seeing what wiring was done here and what I'm going to do to correct it. I mean, these I cut, right? So I know these are turn signals. This was headlight. Look at that. We're now separate. Ooh, we're really separate. Interesting. I guess it's good I'm recording this, because I probably will have to review these videos to figure out how it goes back together. But for the moment, we're going good. Yeah, all right. I have the tools for these connectors too, so I'll be able to pull these apart. Look at this. It's missing. It's missing the insert. Or it's not missing the insert. The insert fell off. So I'll get to redo these. Good times. I'm not sure what brand this is. It's not factory Harley, but this feeds the turn signals, which explains why the turn signals were run and turn in the front. Looks like whoever did it used a separate module. So I'm going to be wiring one in the Tour Glide. It's an all-in-one module, though, that does the front and the rear. But at least now this makes some sense. I'll just put it to the side. This will be one of those, let's figure it out when it's going back together, you know, when I can actually test the operation and stuff. I think for the moment, I'm just gonna maybe tuck the tanks back on like this, just so they're not falling over and stressing, you know, since most of my work is gonna be over here anyway. Let's see if I remember how these come apart. Huh. Super easy. I think this was a good investment in these tools. Just to work with these connectors. I had no idea that this bike had the connectors on it either. So a little bit of dumb luck, a little good fortune. I'll take it. I've been very fortunate with this machine, and even with the collision and everything, you know, it could have been a lot worse for both myself and the bike. So yeah, a little bit of luck. You know, they say, and I've said this many times, I'd rather be lucky than good any day, you know. But, all right, I like it. I'll pull the other connector apart, and then I can get this bar off, almost. Separate the clutch and the master, and then it'll come off. If anyone's wondering, I have not written down what color the wires are. I'm assuming that they are the 1996 setup, which I have the schematics for when I bought the controls for the Tour Glide. So I know what happens when you assume. Worst case, it'll be trial and error, but I think I'll be all right. This should actually be super simple because the master cylinder is easy to remove. I don't have to worry about it breaking the clip or the switch because I'm not reinstalling it at the moment. But the other good part of this is that the brakes are not attached to anything. So aside from what looks like a zip tie, I should be able to pull the master with the brake line and the caliper right off and hang it up off to the side. The entire front brake, basically. All right, I'll put this out of the way. Then it should be clutch lever off, which needs to be replaced anyway. And the bar will come off. I really hope the wind calms down by the time it's time to start putting things together. It's just so much nicer to be, in natural light. I mean, it's one of the, I guess for me, like the depressing parts of winter is you end up stuck more indoors, at least for working on stuff. I don't mind being out, but you're not going to get too much done when it's, 20 degrees out. Okay, clutch lever. This I can just, I guess, rest in the middle. All right, because it needs to be replaced. Ain't going anywhere. While I take the rest of it apart. Oop, need that. Last thing is the throttle cables. And this should come apart. Let's see. Don't fight me. How about that? I should probably take the slack out. That'll make life a little easier. Correction. I should put slack in. Taking slack out would be adjusting them for operation. Putting slack in, I'm guessing, for removal. I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense, right? That's how they did it. So, this should be a piece of cake at this point. There you go. Lubed up. Nice and lubed up. It was definitely very, very smooth on here. Okay. Oh yeah. I got to unscrew these now. So this was what I said where I had the wrong cables and I simply tapped the holes in here. These are supposed to just pop off like I put on the Tour Glide. So it goes to show you, even if you had the older style cables that screw in, and let's say they're brand new and you wanted to use them, you could still upgrade to these controls. Just tap them and you can run them. Not an issue. And this is where you remove these little ferrules so that the cable pops out. And I'm going to try not to lose them. I know I have others. I know I bought a pack of them, but I have no idea where they are. If I lose these and I have to buy new ones, I know exactly when I will find the pack I bought. It's right after I buy and put together this pack, this setup, and then I'll stumble over the ones that I had bought years ago. Because that's just what happens. You keep stuff because you might need to use it, but then you don't know where it is, so you have to buy it a second time anyway. Or you know where it is and you'll never have to use it. That's been my luck. I don't know about other people's experiences. All right, let's pull these bars off. It's like every time I turn around, I'm grabbing the handle by where the grease is. So it's going to be nice to put this aside for the moment. These definitely needed to be replaced. I don't know if these are bent, but they're inexpensive enough. But you could feel the bearings. It's like there's a stop there, there's one right there, another one there, Another one there. Like you could feel, I don't know if you could see it, but like how it boom and then stops again. And all the way through. Like it's, like this should move relatively easily, but I have to actually use a little bit of pressure and then it stays there. A little bit more pressure, that's kind of, but then it stays there. So, yeah, these bearings, they are no good. Huh. Slick setup. It's a nice cap. Interesting. All right. I don't know if this has to be completely removed, but what the hell? Why not? I mean, I'm not reusing this, so I'm making two assumptions here. And I was right. That this wasn't that tight. And that this is all it takes to remove this top part. I mean, it's free now, so I'm guessing this is gonna just come right off. And there's our bearings. I've been greasing them, but that doesn't mean they're not just old. You know, water probably maybe got into them at some point. I don't know. But this one has a grease fitting. It's actually right here. And I've been greasing them. But that doesn't change how it feels. So, all right, there we are. And you can see there's been fresh grease in them. I'm gonna pull the this apart, clean it up, get a look at what the races look like, and then it's just wait for the rest of the parts to come. That's what's annoying, is those two are probably going to be the last two parts to come in. I mean, my forks are scheduled to come today, axle, a whole bunch of other stuff. Those two are, I know just how things go, they'll be the last two. I do think one of the cool parts of the Harley frames, and I don't know if other bikes are like this, but these cups, should you mess them up, are actually replaceable, which I think is kind of cool. And my little Guardian bell, that's staying. I actually didn't install that. That came on the bike, which was Shantae's father's bike. So in his honor, that's staying there. So it looks like they just drilled a hole at the end of the indent for where the wires go. And then in the middle, they just drilled like an oval hole. So the new bar is gonna have to require the same modifications, because originally it was set up with these holes for the clips for external wiring. So it's cool to see how they did it, and it worked, you know, except for when it had the accident, it looks like it twisted inside, but it held together. It didn't snap, didn't break. You know, I'm kind of glad that they didn't, let's say, drill somewhere else. You know, they drilled inside of the clamp. I'll keep that in mind if I decide to do the same thing to the Tour Glide. Drilled a hole inside the clamp. I think that's about as far as I'm going for now. I think the next thing, I just need to wait for some of the parts, change out those races, get stuff sorted out. But she's getting there. She's getting there for sure. Well, until next time, ride safe.